Jackson, that means you shut up. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Cody Porter Sports Show, episode number 12. It is January 26th, 2024, and I got the Three Stooges with me, my guest pickers, like they have been all postseason long. We got Money Minz.
You got Jay Walt.
Jackson Walton, and Sam Chester.
Why did Jackson get to say his own name?
Well, Minz just sat there and didn't do anything.
Well, yeah, because you said my name.
Yeah, I was looking for like what's up.
Let's start over.
This is
I
all
need
staying in. This is all
to
staying
switch
in.
my view so
I'm
that
not
I can
cutting.
see all of you idiots at once, not just
Yeah, what's the
talking.
order?
There it
It
is.
doesn't matter. I'll say what the order is when it's going. I'm not editing out any of this. The last two episodes have taken me 2 or 3 hours to put together.
that sounds like a personal problem.
It sounds like you
so
need
all
to
this
get better
staying
editing.
in. It's all staying in.
Okay.
So we can go ahead and recap the results from last weekend's divisional picks. Obviously, Jackson is at the bottom of the leaderboard, underneath the podium, at a compelling 3-7 record. I come at third place, 4-6. Sam sitting at an even 500, 5-5, and Money Minz is on top at 8-2. Minz, what do you have to say about sitting way above everybody?
I'm nicknamed Money Minz for a reason. I'm proving it right now.
All right. Jackson, bottom of the leaderboard. What do you have to say about all that?
Wild card weekend really messed me up. It's hard to come back from something like that. Took some shots in the dark and was not right.
I mean,
Hoping to improve my picks.
You and Sam have the same record after wild card weekend, and he's 5-5.
I took more shots than he did.
Okay.
I didn't pull any punches.
All right, we can go ahead and get started here. Conference championship weekend. Game number 1 is in the AFC. It's Ravens, it's Chiefs. It's at M&T Bank Stadium in Maryland. Let's go ahead and start with Jackson. You can go ahead and give me your Kansas City and Baltimore preview. Go ahead.
Okay, so you look at Baltimore, and throughout the entire season and like up to this point, they've looked really good. And like not many flaws.
He's
Lamar
picking the Chiefs.
Lamar Jackson's really good out there. But I am sticking with this that Lamar Jackson played not as good as he has been in this last game. You think that's true? He didn't look like an MVP quarterback there.
It's your time to shine, brother.
He had 4 total touchdowns, but like he was not playing as elite as he was out there. And I think that Mahomes, it's going to be a battle of quarterbacks. Mahomes versus Lamar, I take Mahomes. And I think that's what it's going to come down to. I think both defenses will play evenly. I don't think defense is going to be the biggest problem in this game. I think the Ravens run the ball a little bit better. I despise both of these teams, but I would rather the Chiefs win so the Niners can rematch them. But I still think the Chiefs can win this game because I don't trust Lamar in the playoffs still.
Minz, let's roll to you.
I kind of agree that, the Ravens aren't really a playoff team and the Chiefs are. I mean, you look the past couple of years, Ravens really haven't been able to crack it open to get to that Super Bowl recently. Last game, though, I'm looking at Lamar's stats. He had those, handful of touchdowns, but his QBR was 93.9 and his rating was 121.8. I think that's MVP caliber stats right there, even though like his passing yards aren't as high as they usually are. I think he's going to come out and run all over Kansas City. That defense is elite. I think Marlon Humphrey is questionable this week, and they're hoping to have him back. They can add him in there. Marlon Humphrey on either Rashee Rice or Marquez Valdez-Scantling, and have whatever that Kyle Hamilton on Travis Kelce. I think Baltimore's defense will lock Kansas City down, and I'm going to take Baltimore.
All right, Sam, over to you.
Much as I want to disagree with Alex for the sake of potentially tying him in our record overall, I don't think I can disagree. I think that just the better team. I think that everybody should have them winning. I don't think Kansas City is close. I don't think Kansas City has been up and down all season. They got lucky this past weekend versus the Bills. The Bills should have won the game. An errant field goal to send it to overtime. I don't think the Chiefs' offense was rolling in the fourth quarter. I don't think that they would have gotten in field goal range to separate the tie, and I think the Bills would have won in OT. Bills fans pretty salty about it. I've seen all of the hate comments about the kicker, death threats, whatever you want. It's pretty trashy from Bills fans. It's also pretty funny, but whatever. But yeah, I think Lamar Jackson is going to roll over the Kansas City defense. I don't think the secondary is going to be able to contain, or I think that they're going to be so focused on containing Lamar as a running quarterback that they're going to leave options open down the field, and Lamar's going to have a huge passing day. I don't know that he's going to run super well. I think the linebacking crew is going to do pretty well for the Chiefs. And I think that they're going to probably contain him and keep him in the pocket, but I think they're going to leave options open downfield, and Lamar's just going to beat him over the top all game.
Yeah, I do think that, like you said, Jackson, you said Lamar didn't look amazing for I think the entirety of the game is what you're looking at, and the Minz stats kind of say otherwise. I think it was a tale of two halves. It's Baltimore coming off the bye, plus they rested their starters in week 18, and it took them really a half to get back into things. But I mean, that second half was bully football. Here's the Texans' drives in the second half: 9 plays, punt, 3 and out, punt, turnover on downs, 4 plays, 4 yards, 3 plays, 17 yards, end of game. Whereas Baltimore's 6 plays, touchdown, 12 plays, 7 minutes, touchdown, 11 plays, 78 yards, 7 minutes, touchdown, 8 plays, 8 yards. It's a weird way to go 8 yards, but a field goal. They dominated the game in the second half. The second half, the Texans had no chance of that. Was a different team that came out in the second half. And that's the team that the Ravens have been all season. The only reason they weren't that team to start is because, I mean, Lamar basically had 2 weeks off. It's hard to get back into game rhythm right away when taking off 2 weeks. Same thing with a large point of that offense. But that second half, the Ravens showed up and they dominated the entire second half. It wasn't close. That second half team is the team that can win a Super Bowl. The Ravens are going to beat the Chiefs. They're going to the Super Bowl. I don't think this game is particularly close. I don't know what the spread is. I don't know if anyone else does.
I can look it up here. I'm on ESPN.
I think I see it as 3.5 for the Ravens.
Yeah.
I think it's at least a touchdown game, if not a 10-point game. I don't think the Chiefs win. I think the Ravens dominate this one start to finish, offensively and defensively. Yeah, it's the Chiefs they're a great team, and they're always going to be a great team as long as Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid are there, but they are not the Super Bowl champion team that they have been this season. They're a great team. That's why they're going to win the playoffs, and they're going to beat teams that are really good, like the Bills, but they're not a Super Bowl team this year. It's going to be the Ravens. Jackson, it looked like you had something to disagree on that, on what I was saying?
I just think that it's hard to not bet on Mahomes. As we've seen from Mahomes his entire career, 6 times in a row he's made it to this game. And it's hard for me to just put it all on one quarterback. But if you're going to put it all on one quarterback, it's Patrick Mahomes. Like, he's shown that, and I just can't bet against him. Because while CJ Stroud, not very experienced in the playoffs, he can't come out there hot every single drive. Mahomes is going to give it his all every single drive. I think they only punted like once, maybe. against the Bills. And I would have taken the Bills over the Ravens as well. But I just think it's hard to count out Mahomes.
Be that as it may, it's 3-1 Ravens over Chiefs here on our selections. Now we get into the late game on Sunday, the NFC Championship game, 49ers and Lions. Sam, let's start off with you.
I think it's going to be an interesting game. I think I hate to say it, and I hate the little Cody, put this graphic up on the screen right now of the Super Bowl colors over the past 3 years. I think it's going to be accurate. I do. I think it's going to be the Ravens versus the Niners. I wish I could pick the Lions here. I just think it's a wasted pick, unfortunately. As much as I will be rooting for the Lions in this game. But as a sports analyst, I can't go out and pick the Lions to win this game. That's just a silly pick. I think that Deebo Samuel and Christian McCaffrey are just going to have a field day on the Lions defense. They're going to run all over them. They're going to throw those dumpy little screen passes, and they're going to go for 12 yards every time. And it's not a fun way to watch football. The 49ers aren't a fun team to watch. But I do think that they're going to get the job done here. I don't think that the Lions have enough defensive power to stop the offensive excellence that is the system that the 49ers are running in, whether it's fun or not.
All right, Jackson, let's go ahead and slide it over to you.
Okay. I just have to make some comments on Sam's last talk there. I don't think you watched the 49ers play this season, Sam. If you think all they do is run screen passes and stuff, Purdy is number 1 in yards per attempt this year as a quarterback. So, I mean, maybe you just need to
Passes
watch
aren't
more
effective.
Niners.
Catch a screen pass and run it for 15
He's
yards.
the highest
and
rated
it's a 15-yard
QBR.
pass.
No, air yards per attempt. But I think the 49ers are what, 7-point favorites?
Yeah,
I
7
think.
even.
So you can tell that people already think that we're going to win. I think that the Lions are a great team. What?
We're
Whatever.
It's a
I didn't
10-day
mean to say
contract.
that. Yeah, 10 days. I'm reinstated. But I think the Niners are just going to be able to get it done. We've shown that the defense is very good. And I think that Nick Bosa is going to have a day. He's been quiet in the playoffs. I think he's going to have a 2-sack day, maybe, hopefully. And I just don't think that they're going to be able to run the ball as well as they have against other teams. I think we have the best box in the league, best linebacker duo in the league. And of course, like you were saying, Deebo. I mean, if you watch more Niners, you'd say Ayuk other than Deebo because Ayuk is probably better in his career at this point than Deebo is. Christian McCaffrey is going to have a day. Brock Purdy, as long as we stay consistent, no picks, win the turnover battle, I think it's going to be an easy win.
Minz, to you.
Okay. I would probably feel a lot better about the Niners going into this game if I didn't see that Chase Young got blocked by a wide receiver last week.
It's trash.
I was really high on that defensive end duo right there of Nick Bosa and Chase Young. Going into last week, I thought that they would do a lot more against Jordan Love. Jordan Love kind of had a field day against the Niners defense, putting up, I think it was 21 or 24 points. So I think this is going to be a high scoring matchup here. Both teams have the offensive weapons to win this game. But when it comes down to it, the Lions, at least in the last 2 games, have led up over 300 yards in passing alone. I think Purdy will probably have pretty good day passing. I'm expecting the dump downs, like Sam said, and then having a crossing route, probably the George Kittle here and there, to have like a 25, 30-yard touchdown in the red zone. probably to win it. So I'm probably going to rock with the Niners. But I don't think that this is going to be a 7-point game. I'm expecting it to be field goal. But yeah, we're going to rock with the Niners.
See, I watched Bucks Lions start to finish. Obviously, as a biased fan, I wasn't really that impressed with the Lions. I think the Bucks, their defense played fine up until the fourth quarter. Really, I would say they played very well up until the fourth quarter. Fourth quarter they sucked, and then offensive, their play calling left a little bit desired. The thing about the Lions defense, I mean, other than the fact that their passing defense has been terrible the entire postseason. We know that. The Bucks rushing offense has been the worst in football the last 2 years. They only have like 4 or 5 100-yard rush games in the last 2 seasons. That might be too high, actually. I don't know. They suck at running the ball. Their O-line sucks at run blocking. Rachaad White is not a great runner, and he averaged over 6 yards a carry against the Lions.
Yeah.
He looked like a Pro Bowl running back against the Lions, and I don't know why we didn't run it down their throat. Sorry, I noticed it. Rachaad White, the last I looked in the game, I don't know what he ended with, but in the fourth quarter at one point, he had 12 carries. If you're averaging 6 yards a carry, I don't care what your game plan is going into the game. If it's air raid, but your running back is getting 6 yards a carry, you run the freaking ball. It doesn't matter what your pregame is. So that being said, nothing about the Lions defensively scares me. They have a good pass rush. They have a great pass rush, but their coverage stinks. It's terrible. I mean, Mike Evans in prevent coverage was running past DBs. How does that even happen? Like I said, Rachaad White can't running the ball effectively. And that just, I think, shakes up for the Niners offense to have a field day. Now, if their defense isn't like they were at their high points of the regular season, I do see Minz how it could be a high-scoring affair just because I know the 49ers are going to score. I'm not as certain about the Lions. I probably wouldn't. If I was betting it, I probably wouldn't bet the spread just because I'm not sure what the Niners defense will look like. But I am going to pick the Niners. And it looks like it's a 3-1 once more, but this time. Well, Sam, did you say you're going with the Lions? Oh.
I'm rooting for the Lions. I want them to win, but it's not good of me to pick them to win.
Absolutely. Rooting for the Lions, as 95% of America will be. And Jackson, you can't, well, not 95 because California's a large population. Whatever the percentages of non-Californians, non-idiots, they'll all be rooting for the Lions against the Niners. So it's a 4-0 clean sweep. All picking the 49ers. Minz thinks it'll be a particularly close game. Like I said, I'm not the Lions defense is just atrocious in my view, at least in the playoffs so far. That's the picks. We'll have more on the Cody Porter Sports Show. A little non-football action for the first time in a little while coming up next after this foursome box. That was the NFL Conference Championship weekend picks. All right, we are back. Little transition from NFL talk. We're going to get into something I haven't yet gotten to on the Cody Porter Sports Show. And that's because I, was waiting for the right time. And I think this is the right episode to break it out. And I'm talking about the professional wrestling, WWE, this weekend, the Royal Rumble. I got the two foremost experts I could find. Andrew Steele, big Nashville fan when it comes to the Titans, comes to the Tennessee Volunteers. He likes soccer too for some reason. He likes hockey. He likes baseball. Likes rugby, I think. Andy, who's your favorite WWE superstar of all time?
Oh, shoot. Right off the bat. It's probably cliche to say, but it's probably Stone Cold.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if you let me think about it, I could have gave you more of a
all right, well,
deep cut, but
end of the episode, I'll ask you again. And then right below him, we got the musical mastermind known as Brennan Purrier. Brennan, I'm going to send the same one over to you. Favorite wrestler of all time?
I'm narrowing it down. Probably Edge or Triple H. Probably going to go Triple H.
Okay. All right.
That's also not cliche though, but it's a hard one to beat,
answer is the answer. It's like
Mhm.
So like I said, it is Royal Rumble weekend. We got a series of different things. First, without getting into too much detail at first, I'm going to go to each of you. Andy, I'll go back to you first again. I just want, without any explanation, who wins the men's rumble, who wins the women's rumble.
But I think the women's is easier. I'm not gonna give an explanation, but I think it's Becky Lynch,
Mhm.
right? I think it's one or two with that one. The men's is a little, especially with recent news of injuries and changed plans. But you know what? I think it's gonna be The Rock.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
I like it. Brennan, to you, without any explanation, the two winners.
Women's, I'll go Bailey.
Okay.
Um, men's, golly.
So many.
Because I want to see where it goes. If it happens, I'm gonna go Gunther.
Okay. Yes. So I've been thinking for women's all along it's Becky Lynch. I still think it is, but I feel like over the last month or so, there's been a lot of headway for Bailey just because it would be the best way to break down damage control. And, she's been around for a long time. It'd be cool to see her win a really big match like the Rumble. But I still think it's Becky because I think the biggest match to have in the women's is Becky versus Rhea at WrestleMania, which I do think will happen, even if Becky does not win this Royal Rumble.
Yeah, I
And
think
then
both get there the same. They both get to the same destination. That's why it's kind of hard to pick between the two, but I do think those are both the end goals.
you can talk about this in a little bit too, but I'm thinking the more I think about it, I think there's be a lot of title changes at WrestleMania, like a lot. That's just my opinion. But the men's, up until Punk came back, I said it was going to be Cody. Since Punk came back, it's destined on being Punk. Since Monday, I'm convinced it's Gunther.
Yeah.
Gunther is going to win the Royal Rumble. And I will now start breaking into why I think what, and then we'll go back to each of you guys. Like I said, I was convinced it was Cody just because I was still thinking Cody's going to win at WrestleMania to beat Roman for the title. And then Punk came back, so it's like, okay, Cody won the last Rumble, so they're gonna let Punk win this one, be his big to do, and then he gets his match with Seth. Cody still ends up fighting Roman some way somehow. Now with Seth being injured, and whenever he has his surgery, he's going to be off for a certain time. I think after WrestleMania, he's going to be off TV for a long time. Just recovering, being a family, all that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
And I think they want the CM Punk, Seth Rollins story and match to be a really, really good one. I don't know if it's going to be a squash, but I think Gunther might squash Seth at WrestleMania. I think Gunther is going to win the Royal Rumble, and that match is going to be done in 10 minutes, and it's going to be just Gunther just dominating Seth, winning at WrestleMania. Just think about where he really hasn't even been on the main roster for that long. He's going to go on WrestleMania. He's going to main event one of the two nights. He's going to be world champion. I do think somewhere in between there, he has to lose the Intercontinental title. I don't know how.
I was about to ask.
It'd be kind of weird just to think we're building him up to be world champion at WrestleMania and just make him lose to some mid card guy with the Intercontinental. Maybe he vacates it. Maybe he just hands it over to Ludwig. I don't know. But yeah, the more I think about it, I think Seth Punk has to be just an epic tale and an epic 30-minute match, and that can't happen now. So they're gonna push it off. Gunther gets the title at WrestleMania, and then like I said, I think Becky and Rhea is the big money women's match. Even though I do like Bailey, she's my 1B for women's, and I do think she goes to WrestleMania. But I think Becky is going to win it just because I think that's a bigger pop, bigger draw for them. Brennan, let's go to your picks. You had Bailey and Gunther.
Yeah, well, we just had watching from at least Raw. You have just my curiosity of all of it is with Becky. You got Nia Jax, you got Bailey, like all of those three in together. That was, I feel like, the people they're setting up the most for it. You got two people that you really would want to see, and you got the one that you don't want to see. I'm not going to say who those are, but I'm just really interested to see how they keep playing it, or what they play on Saturday. But I'm always just interested with how they deal with stuff with Nia Jax all the time. That's another story we can get into in a little bit. But definitely, yeah, I don't know. I just don't see anything else happening with the whole my roommate's here. My whole they just said, I think they set up really well of whole Seth gone. I'm not gonna lose the title, but it just there just doesn't seem like any other option right now. Like with everything else that's happening, it's just yeah, you know.
Andy, do you?
So my heart does say Gunther. I would love that. I would love for him to come out. You said squash. I'd love him to just smack his knee over and over again. Just pick him up and keep smacking his knee. I know they won't do that because I don't want him to legit get more hurt. But my heart says that. But a part of me thinks, he's got to lose the Intercontinental first, and if that's going to happen, it still can be the match. Though I do think they're kind of going to set up. I think that is better than CM Punk still, and I think CM Punk will be SummerSlam now, especially if Seth can be back by then. But like Gunther can still get there, right? He loses the Intercontinental, he comes back and he's like, you know what, Elimination Chamber, I'm going in that thing, I'm gonna win it. That he could show his dominance once again. That's a way to build him up after he loses that belt, right? Why I said The Rock, which you got to shoot your shot. I'm going to look real dumb when he doesn't show up at all. But I feel like the winner of the Rumble has to face Roman, right?
Mm-hmm.
I get they have to build the other title up, but if you're going to win the Rumble, there's a guy who hasn't been beat in however long it's been now, 1,300 days, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy to even say that number out loud, but he hasn't lost in that amount of time. Why would you challenge for the other belt? Why would you not challenge Roman? So I think whoever wins the Rumble has to challenge Roman. It's probably be Cody because none of us said Cody, by the way.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty obvious now. Like once we all didn't pick Cody, if you're going to bet on someone now, go online and bet for Cody. He's definitely winning. But I think the winner is going to be facing Roman. So I don't think CM Punk is going to face Roman because I think Roman needs to lose at WrestleMania. I could see him winning, right? To break every record he possibly can before he drops it. But I think he's going to lose. I kind of want him to lose. I'm not one of those people who was really upset about last year about him not losing. Because it's just, part of the story. You got to let it finish. But now how it's kind of petered out towards the end, I think Jimmy and Solo have been kind of carrying it towards the end for him, that he needs to drop it. And so it needs to be the main event, it needs to be a big match, and CM Punk doesn't need that. It's kind of like, people argue Brock didn't need Undertaker's streak, or other things such as that. You want someone to beat him, be a big deal. So now that I'm saying this, I'm convincing myself it's Cody because Rock's not winning either, right? But I picked The Rock, so let me change course a little bit. Wouldn't it be cool for Roman to just
it would be crazy. It would be insane for The Rock to come back and win the freaking Royal Rumble. That'd be nuts if that happened.
I'm watching it with casuals, people who don't watch. They probably watch the Royal Rumble every year and maybe WrestleMania. That's probably all they watch, right? They have no idea The Rock is a part of WWE. They don't even know that he came up through there. I would love to see their faces, them being so confused, them thinking it's like the equivalent of when Drew Carey showed up. Like that's what they're going to be thinking, right? Oh, this random celebrity, what's he doing here? Everyone in the crowd is going crazy, and I hope that happens. Maybe that wishful thinking. But he's going to win. I'm right. You guys are completely wrong, but
Sure.
But Becky, that one I'm the least sure, but I know it's one of two. I don't think it's gonna be Nia Jax. If it's Nia Jax, please don't be Nia Jax.
A lot of people would be suing if Nia Jax was the winner. I'll just say that.
I get also people might be tired of Becky, right? That's where Bailey comes in, maybe. I'm not
Mhm.
tired of Becky. I think she's great. But Bailey would also be good. I don't know. I picked Becky because she's the best. I picked The Rock because he's the best.
Fair enough. I think a different conversation for a different day. As it stands right now, I think in my head, greatest of all time women wrestler is Becky Lynch to me. I think she's above Charlotte Flair in mine. No matter amount of titles, I think Becky, top to bottom, is the best female wrestler of all time. Another discussion, another day. We only have 40 minutes for this call.
Okay, I was ready for that. I was ready for that one.
Andy, let's go back to you. Who do you see? And I think it's going to be unanimous. But I know me and Brennan a while back had talked about a way for this match to go a different way. Andy, how do you see the fatal 4-way playing out?
All right. Shocker. Roman wins. All right. Pretty sure he wins. I do think that I hate it. I would love this to happen. This is my pitch to WWE. I don't think it's going to happen. Right. I'm tired of screwy finishes with him. Just 3 stack them up. Go for the third and win. I do think that what's actually going to happen is LA Knight and AJ Styles are going to get into it somehow, and they're going to cost each other the championship, or maybe they'll cost Randy the championship, and that's your WrestleMania match for them. I think it will set up stuff. It's just, Roman wins. Lol, honestly.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Brennan, you agree Roman is the clear-cut winner?
I think he's obviously going to win because they have to keep that for WrestleMania. But what we got? So just a reminder, we got what, LA Knight, Orton, Styles, and Roman, right?
Yeah.
Fingers are crazy. My dream for it, I don't know. I'm tied between wanting Randy to win it and wanting AJ to win it because it's crazy just to see how they came back with like the memes of just all of them, both of them being shredded. It's like I feel like one of them deserves to win. Like they put in the work for that. I think I don't know. I'm curious where it'll go afterwards though, because like, what will the feuds be like? Are they going to do more of AJ versus LA Knight? Like where are they going to keep it going? That's where my brain going. But yes, Roman's going to win for sure. But like, I think they're gonna give all the rest of the 3 like those moments with the 2 count, and you'll hear it. But Roman for sure.
Yeah. Like I said, a clean sweep. I think all 3 of us saying Roman. I know, Brennan, me and you talked about a while ago a theory that popped out. I think became pretty popular just because everyone would be like, "Oh, this is fresh. This is different. This isn't what WWE would do." It was that Randy actually wins. I don't remember if it was Randy pins Roman, but Randy wins the 4-way. Also, winning that match and not pinning Roman would just be the crappiest way to end his reign. But say Randy pins Roman, that takes the title off Roman, but the Rock comes in and he costs him, or that sets up Rock Roman for WrestleMania without the belt, gives Randy versus Cody for that belt because they have their history, and then Seth and Cena, and that sets up a whole bunch of matches and gets the Rock Roman match without there being a title. But I think that was just a kind of a fan theory that people liked, but have realized WWE only goes off the beaten path every now and again. They pretty consistent with what they do, and it's a real shocker when they break out something different, which would be if Randy Orton pinned LA Knight for the freaking title.
Oh, dude.
I think most people would believe it. You would believe that if that happened.
Yeah,
with that though, it's just like if that happened, 1, you'd end his streak, and then 2, I think Randy Orton would be like the wrestler with the most championships now. He'd like pass Ric Flair.
He would tie Ric Flair and John Cena for 16, I think.
Dude,
triple threat right there, baby.
What if
think
about it? What if John Cena was in the Royal Rumble?
Yeah. What if Randy Orton wins the title and John Cena comes back with the Royal Rumble, and then we got Cena and Orton for WrestleMania, and Cena wins for 17?
Because what was it? Orton talked about how like that was one of his last dream matches of him and Cena as a championship match or something, right?
Yeah, that's what he said. He said he wants one match he wants before he's done is him and Cena for a title.
And I know Cena he's not got a lot left.
He said
they
the other
just
day
showed that thing.
he said on Logan Paul's show he's got 3 years left. That's
Yeah.
what he So we'll see. Let's see. Surprise. What surprises do we think we have? Who's coming? Who's gonna be the shocker this year? I think Zack Ryder / Matt Cardona will be in it. I think for sure.
That's a good shout.
I'm interested to see who he would come in as. If he would come in as Matt Cardona or Zack Ryder, just because he's built such a name as Matt Cardona. Even though I'm sure he still owns Zack Ryder's.
100%.
I think he comes back. I think Ray comes back from injury. And I would love to see Big E come back from injury. I just don't know if he's cleared or not. But if he would be a great return. In the women's, I think Naomi comes back. Her contract is up with TNA, I think, like the end of this month. And I think everyone in the wrestling community thinks that she's going to be WWE once that contract's over. So maybe she comes for one event before it's over. They come to some sort of deal. Triple H gets her to come over, and she gets that. Also, Jade Cargill, who signed in like September and was on TV for like a month, just talking to all the biggest women stars, and then has not been on TV since. I think she finally makes her debut in the Royal Rumble.
Okay.
What do you guys think?
I agree with all those, actually. Those are all the ones I was going to say. I think Jade is a lock. I think this was probably the goal when they pulled her, or they didn't pull her. She's been like NXT a little bit, but when they took her off, main roster stuff, I think the goal was probably to get her ready, put her back in the Royal Rumble. Zack Ryder, I think he's going to come out as Zack Ryder. First of all, the casuals will have no idea who Matt Cardona is.
Will he come back as the Zack Ryder persona as well?
No, I don't know. Well, I don't know.
That place would pop if they went woo woo woo.
They'll lose their minds.
No, they're gonna finish it too. But like Drew McIntyre didn't come back as what was his name on the Indies? It's been
Drew
so long.
Galloway or something.
Yeah, like he came back with his original. I just think everyone comes back with their original name.
Yeah.
For the most part. Big E, Big E makes me think about this, and this is a question I actually have for both of y'all. Who would you be okay with if it was like a shock win? They won it, but you'd be like happy for him. I think mine would be Big E. Like if Big E came back and won, I don't care that there's no storyline.
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy he's back, Or like another one for me might be like Bobby Lashley. If he won the Royal Rumble, I would be mad. I love that guy. So that's something to think about too. Is just it could be anyone.
I would love Lashley just because we've never, as the two titled, because what was it? Lashley won his championship from a Brock Lesnar or from a Roman Reigns interference, but we never got Roman and Bobby, which is just such a good match that we have never gotten in 1,300 days, and that would be a killer. That'd be so good.
Did we ever get a Big E story? When did Big E get hurt?
It's been a while.
Yeah.
Like last WrestleMania season.
Golly.
But so I would love to see Big E again. I think that's my number one. I'd be so excited. From the venue from Monday, I think Hulk Hogan's gonna be in it. I think he hinted to it way too hard. It's in Tampa, which he lives there, right?
Mm-hmm.
He lives in Tampa or Orlando. He's in the area. Right?
Yeah.
He's in Florida. The thing about it being in Tampa also, you're so close to the Performance Center. Like any NXT people can show up.
Oh, I wasn't even thinking about that. I guarantee either I feel like Trick or Mello or Dragunov, one maybe Baron Corbin, Braun Baker, one of those guys, maybe 2 or 3 are guaranteed to be in it.
Yeah.
Have to be.
I agree.
Because they're just such big NXT stars right now.
And then the women, I don't know how big their roster is. I think it's big enough that they can fill it up, but there has to be people they bring in, right? I think Naomi, by the way, I don't worry about TNA it's TNA still, right? TNA, because Mickie James came that one time and she was TNA championship.
Yeah.
So I think they'll work something out.
Yeah, Naomi's actually is TNA's knockout champion, whatever it's called right now.
I saw somewhere that she dropped it. I think that might
did
be
she?
a spoiler. Maybe I should have said that.
Maybe that's a pre-recorded thing.
Yeah,
They
my
pre-record
bad.
other stuff.
Cut that.
You might have to bleep that. I don't know. But for women, Michelle McCool is probably going to be in it. She seems like she's always there, just beasting it out. You said all the ones I could think of. I think Hulk Hogan will be one that comes out. John Cena,
Oh, I've seen a lot for Brock to be there.
I don't think after what happened. Well, he might be, I guess.
I think there's a chance. I think it's Brock Lesnar.
That's fair. But yeah, I think that's everybody that I can think of.
All right, so we have our picks now. I think I kind of spelled mine out how I think it's going to go for WrestleMania. I think it's going to be. I guess I didn't spell the whole thing out. I think it's going to be Gunther versus Seth Rollins. Gunther wins that title. I think Cody. I'm just putting it out of my mind that Rock faces Roman at WrestleMania. I don't want that to happen. I would hate that. I'm not even thinking about it. Cody, the Elimination Chamber is a 6-man match to face Roman. Winner ends up being Cody. He's facing Roman at WrestleMania. So it's Cody and Roman, Gunther and Seth. Andy, what is your pairing? I guess it would be Rock and Roman, and who would be facing Seth? Gunther.
I think it's Rock and Roman. I actually have this weird feeling that, and this is more of me like almost shooting a shot kind of thing. I like trying to predict something wild here. But Damian Priest, first of all, why is he not cashed in? I mean, kayfabe wise, the champion doesn't have a right knee or left knee right now.
Yeah.
Like, why are you not cashing in? But anyway, I could see him maybe cashing in, and then it's him versus someone, or because I don't know if Seth's going to be 100%. I feel like they're trying to get to WrestleMania, and that's the backup plan. I think if they don't get to WrestleMania, if Seth's rehabbing, and which we could be getting word, he could literally not have an injury. There's actually no proof that it's real. But if he's rehabbing, and he's not able to do it, I think they're gonna have Damian Priest cash in, and then from there it can be CM Punk, it can be Cody, it can be anyone at that point that's been built up. I also do want to shout out, I do think Drew McIntyre has a shot to also be in that championship match.
Yeah, I think I still think it's such a shame he hasn't gotten anything. No, he's held no title since we were back from COVID. It's like he had a match on Monday night, I think, with Seth a few months ago that was so good. No, maybe a few weeks ago, it was so good, and he really did have a 3. I think it was Priest that screwed it up, and that's kind of set up a Priest and McIntyre feud kind of thing. But he needs a title so bad. It sucks that he's just kind of out of the picture. But he's another guy. I would love if he won the Royal Rumble. That'd be fantastic, because I would love to see him win the belt at WrestleMania. That'd be awesome.
I don't think he's winning the Rumble, though. I didn't say that.
It would make him time, though.
It'd be awesome if he did.
2-time winner of the Royal Rumble, right?
Yeah, that would be exactly.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Andy, then or Brennan, how do you see all the matches then playing out for WrestleMania?
I mean, y'all pretty much took all what I was gonna say at times. I'm curious how they'll do it though, like with the whole Damian Priest, if he ever cashed in. I think it'd be funny for him to cash in on Rollins like Rollins did back in the day, a little slap in the face, but also a little laugh. After Monday, I'm really interested to see, like, I just want to kind of see more of Punk versus Cody. But also, I don't know. Again, what y'all said, like, I want to see a Roman versus Rock, but I don't. If there's no championship involved, I feel like it'd be interesting to watch, I don't know.
I do think that if somehow it ends up being Rock and Roman at WrestleMania for the title, I think it's Cody Punk in just a singles match, which will be a fantastic match. One thing you said is going to make me say something. Oh, Priest cashing in and making it a triple threat like Seth Rollins did. I could see that build up Gunther. He wins the Rumble, so he's a legit megastar at this point. He's at WrestleMania, and maybe it's not a squash; it's just a good match between the two of them. Seth's taking a bunch of punishment, but somehow he gains like a momentary. Gunther goes through a spear through the turnbuckle. He misses, falls out. Priest runs out, cashes in, wins it. Gunther isn't pinned, so he's not harmed by it. He's still a dominant WrestleMania guy, and he still has the Intercontinental title. So that still going that. And then Rollins gets to go home, be sidelined, recover, all that. And then this Money in the Bank hasn't been a waste for the last 8-9 months because we're coming up on the 1 year timeline.
Yeah.
And
I mean, he won't be the first that's held it for that long, right? Who else has held it for that long?
I mean, Seth cashed in at WrestleMania.
Melo had it. I'm not Carmelo.
I mean,
Melo had it for a long time.
I just feel like over the last few years, mainly maybe more with the women, but the cash-ins just seem so quick. And it's nice to see him hold it for a little while, but there's just been so much, especially with him kind of becoming a comedy gimmick with R-Truth. He either needs to win it and legit, because he is a great in-ring performer. He's good on the mic. Have him win the title, explode Judgment Day or not, who cares, whatever. But just you actually use the Money in the Bank. Like, Senior in the Bank needs to freaking become Senior champion.
Mm-hmm. Did y'all watch his match with Drew McIntyre this Monday? Yes,
that R-Truth kind of cost him.
Oh, it 100% cost him, but like, because he was trying to give him money. It was wild.
Yeah,
it was wild.
But as again, like I think we've talked about personally, just R-Truth is fantastic, and if he's the reason that the Judgment Day explodes, would be so funny. If he becomes the reason that the Judgment Day dies, and then he becomes Damian Priest's manager when he's the champion, how about that? All right, both of your reactions.
Oh my gosh!
I mean, that would be crazy. I do actually. I'll pitch a match for Damian at WrestleMania while he's waiting to cash in.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it could be him versus The Miz for custody of R-Truth. I feel like that is 100% a great match.
Yeah, that's a good one. Minz also a guy that'd be. There's just so many guys that are just, great talents that deserve to win the Royal Rumble just because they deserve it. It would be nice to see, like, The Miz. It'd be amazing for The Miz to just win the Royal Rumble because he's been doing it for so long.
Yeah.
All right, I think we're all out of gas here on this one. Anything else, gentlemen? Before we give our parting words.
Is it possible that Okada shows up? You think? Or is his contract before?
I'm not sure. I know they want him. I don't know how they would do that. But I feel like you can get anyone that's with the Japanese promotions. You can get them no matter what. Anyway, like, they are willing to do business for a price. I just feel like that was with AEW. They've had such a willing partnership. Like,
that's true.
I feel like the WWE can say, "Hey, we will pay you this much for this guy for the Rumble." Okay, boom. I think if they want it bad enough, they can make it happen.
I think with that, also, my dream returns. I don't know if it would ever happen with the Royal Rumble. Or no, one of them won't be, but I want Pete Dunne in it because they finally brought him back. I would love it just if Dean Ambrose came in out of nowhere, or they just like keep him as John Moxley, whatever. And then for the women's, at least, what's the update on, like, Charlotte?
I'm not sure what she's doing. I know she got injured and was also wanting to take time off anyway to do, like, bodybuilding competitions again or something. I don't know.
Okay, that's fine.
She was in like last year. She was like, they tried to do a face turn. She was competing all the time, and then she's kind of left.
It's like she got bored or something.
Well, that's it. That is episode 12 of the Cody Porter Sports Show. Thank you to my 3 previous guests on the NFL picks. Thank you to Andy and Brennan for jumping in on some Royal Rumble. Andy, do you have one thing left to say? Is that what that was? Oh, no. Okay. Like I said, thank you, gentlemen. Had a lot of fun. That was probably, holy crap, one of the most fun segments so far in the Cody Porter Sports Show. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. See ya.